According to the U.S. Bureau of Statistics, in the year 2019, it was recorded that there were 274,600 public relations related jobs. Looking into the future, there is projected to be a 7% growth by the year 2021. Public relations is a very diverse and popular field that will only continue to grow as consumer satisfaction and organizational communication continue to thrive. And as a public relations major myself, I look forward to being part of this statistic. While Mount Union offers dozens of resources for students to sharpen their professional development and knowledge in the field of public relations, there is still much misunderstanding on what public relations practitioners actually do. And not only this, but our literacy is very applicable to students who study other majors. And I believe that Public Relations Student Society of America, PRSSA, is the #1 resource that has sharpened my literacy skills and morphed me into a polished and passionate young PR practitioner. So today in my literacy discussion, I will be discussing the topic literacy in the cultivation of a diversified chapter at Mount Union. And throughout this discussion, I will share my journey of PR literacy, some misconceptions that non-majors may have, and how we can expand our community at Mount Union through PRSSA. So to begin, I joined PRSSA in the fall of my sophomore year. And in my first year of membership, I sat in on multiple guest speakers who practiced PR in areas of entertainment, nonprofit, and politics. And in doing so, I was able to expand my network while also cultivating friendships with others within the chapter. My junior year, I decided to run to be the PR director of PRSSA, and in doing so, I was in charge of our social media pages consisting of Twitter and Instagram, organizing all of our service projects such as the communications project, where we wrote Valentines for individuals who are in nursing homes in quarantine. And I also organized our guest speakers. Currently, as a senior at the university, I serve as the president of PRSSA. And in doing so, I oversee all aspects of the chapter, such as financials, social media and promotion, guest speakers, and professional development opportunities. In addition to this, I serve as a district ambassador for Public PRSSA National. And in this role, I direct over 10 different PRSSA chapters at neighboring universities by giving them the resources that they need and acting as support for PRSSA National as a whole. And throughout all of these experiences, I have developed professionally in many ways, such as acquiring 2 internships and the creation of my own freelance company, Exceptional Connections, Public Relations, and Media Management. And while this has been amazing, many individuals do not take advantage of this membership opportunity. According to the PRSSA website, most individuals who join PRSSA are in degree programs such as Public Relations, Communication Studies, Journalism, and Marketing. And even though these individuals may not directly learn about PR literacy in their coursework, they have the opportunity to sharpen their professional skills by joining PRSSA. So non-majors are able to take advantage of this opportunity, but why don't they do it at the University of Mount Union? So here's some statistics about PRSSA at the University of Mount Union. So at our university, the only majors that make up PRSSA are Public Relations, Integrated Media, and Communication Studies, all majors which make up the Communications Department. And as of present, there are only 13 members of the Mount Union chapter that make up the 7,000 members nationally. All members of our chapter are white. 85% of them identify as female, and 15% of them identify as male. And it's important to note that historically at Mount Union, PR majors are normally female. It's more of a female-dominated field. And by adding non-majors to our field, we can incorporate individuals who are in male-dominated majors and other gender identities within our society. So therefore, we are lacking in specified areas of more cultural and racial diversity, more individuals who aren't communication-related majors, and more gender diversity as well. But there may be some reasons that individuals have misunderstandings or gaps in their literacy about public relations. And one of those reasons is that students may have biased opinions on the field of public relations. And according to authors of It's Not Just PR, Public Relations Society, Timothy Combs and Sherry J. Holliday, who wrote the essay about how public relations is important to our society. They state that historically public relations is traced back to very negative attempts of psychological persuasion that often benefited individuals who were deemed superior members of society in the early 1900s. And a great but terrible example of this is Joe Goebbels, who was a PR practitioner that used his craft in support of Nazi propaganda. And to make matters worse, Edward Bernays, who is known as the father of public relations, praised Goebbels' efforts in strategic communication. Another important thing to note is in a statement written by Donald K. Wright, who wrote an article on the evolution of public relations history in North America, he states that the first public relations course at a United States university was taught at the University in Illinois in the year 1920. This was just over 100 years ago, so public relations has been very fluent and has evolved greatly since then. Some more reasons that people have misconceptions about public relations is that students may feel that since they are not a major, PR skills don't apply to them, or they may feel that there is too much of a gap between their literacy in their field of study and public relations literacy, or they may be really introverted and feel that PR is not for them. According to a recent study completed in the year 2014 that was published in the International Journal of Higher Education, it states that various universities were surveyed, and 42% of the individuals who were college students that were surveyed shared that they always feel anxious before they have to orally share information in front of others. So even though there may be a gap in misunderstanding causing non-majors to join PRSSA, there are several solutions that can be put in place and that are currently being put in place to increase our recruitment numbers. So many non-majors may not know PRSSA exists because up until recently, we only consisted of members from the communications department. And now going into this new academic school year, we are a part of the business department, which is great because we have a wonderful change in point of view to our stakeholder group, which is not just communication students, but now includes business students as well. And while our literacy may differ, PR courses will now be more exposed to other students seeking professional growth in business-related fields. And since PR has evolved greatly and serves as a basis of positive and professional culture between stakeholders and the organization, in the year 2021, it shows that there was a great amount of evolution because, as I had previously stated, this was not always the case. In another statement written by W. Timothy Combs and Shelley Holliday, they share that good deeds in the mundane are less likely to generate media exposure. What go unrecognized are the more commonplace and typical PR efforts that characterize the daily existence of organizations. So PR practitioners also practice expanding positivity and educating their stakeholder group. And a great example of a positive initiative is Silver Anvil Award winner in the year 2019, the Phoenix Summer Safety Campaign created by the City of Phoenix Communications Department. They created an entire campaign to educate the population of Phoenix, Arizona on how to keep themselves safe during the summer season. The organization's mission was to educate, change attitudes, and therefore behaviors for the betterment and safety of all citizens in the area. This is one of the many PR initiatives that have been created for the betterment of others. But this initiative was not surging through the media because it was not a scandal or was not media worthy and was just a campaign for the betterment of others. So public relations individuals do great things for society. You may just not know about them. Additionally, PR is a range of many skills, including writing, speaking, organizing, planning, researching, strategic problem solving, and identifying problems and opportunities. And in a statement written by the student Andrews, who attended Kent State University, who wrote an article to promote public relations membership in their PRSSA chapter, she states that these skills are applicable to all fields of work, which is true. PRSSA benefits all young professionals looking to seek professional growth. And a great example of how PRSSA does this is through their mentor-mentee partnerships between students and professionals. One in particular is between PRSSA and Finn Partners, and in this news article written by journalist John Elasser, he covers this new initiative by stating that this strategic partnership underscores the value of PRSA membership and ensures that as the role of communications professionals continues to rapidly evolve and extend past our borders, we will continue to be the leading organization for gaining knowledge, experience, and insights. So these are just a few great examples of how students from all majors, cultural backgrounds, gender identities, and racial backgrounds can benefit from being a member of PRSSA while also understanding and interpreting our literacy. So after all of this interpretation, there are still several roadblocks that deter us from accomplishing this kind of extreme recruitment initiative. Some include that college students are busy and they may have other ties to professional development that they're already involved in. They could also still feel that PR is unethical or that they don't completely understand PR. They could be in a career field that doesn't necessarily require this specific type of professional development. And although all of the skills that I previously mentioned are important, you may not need all of them. So although there are many reasons for non-majors to join PRSSA on campus, there is still much work to be done to improve our recruitment efforts. And as a public relations culture, we will continue to create an environment for both majors and non-majors to thrive, such as Brenna Walker, who I had written about in a news release promoting PRSSA, in which she states, "It is up to people like us to help organizations communicate effectively with the people who rely on them for services, products, and so much more." So to conclude my discussion with you today, I'm just going to go over some questions for your analysis after my discussion is over. So what do you feel are other reasons non-majors may be disinterested in joining PRSSA? Or how can the PR industry show society that we strive ourselves on ethical, strategic problem solving rather than scandal? And do you believe there is a place for you to thrive in PRSSA? So I want to thank you for giving me the chance to discuss this issue with you today. And in doing so, here are some citations that I use to support my argument.